Hairbrain Comedy presents.
This is Picking Fights, UFC 267 with DJ Dangler and the world famous
Jasper T. Colbaire.
It was hard for me to get all the words out this time, Jasper.
It was so many words, and you didn't even say Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I didn't even say from the United Arab Emirates. But this is UFC 267. No girls allowed.
It's harder to fight when you're wearing fucking shrouds.
Well, we're going to open up with light heavyweight fight. Magomed Ankalaev versus Volkan Ozdemir.
No time, I think, is going to... I think no ranking is going to be his nickname here in another 2 fights. How do you lose 3 of 5, lose your last fight, and get a fight against a guy higher in the rankings than you?
I think this might just be that they want to pop Magomed up.
Yeah, they need him to beat somebody you recognize.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's a good use. Like, I think this is a good fight. And if Ozdemir wins, awesome. He's right in contention to... Who would have thought? We talked about this a little bit before filming. Who would have thought light heavyweight would ever be the weakest category in the UFC? The weakest
sad,
division.
Man. Think at one time, in one point in time, light heavyweight, we had Randy Couture, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, Little Nogueira, Shogun, Quentin Jackson.
Yeah.
And then John Jones came and ruined everything.
Yeah. If I was to make a list of the 100 greatest UFC fighters of all time, I think 205 would have the most representatives.
205 and welterweight.
Yeah. Khamzat Boars Chimaev.
Boars. I don't know what that means.
It's an umbrella term applied to all improvised submachine guns produced during the years of independence of the Chechen Republic.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a Tommy gun or like an improvised. Yeah, so he's the machine gun.
Very specific automatic weapon Chimaev. And he's taken on solid stud, great test, Li Jingliang. Li Jingliang, Yi Jingliang, watch me play with Li Jingliang. The Leech.
4-1 in his last 5.
Mm-hmm.
So he's stringing together quite a record right now here at welterweight.
If your nickname's the Leech, then I just translate that as the decision. They want Chimaev to be the next thing. I have a hard time putting my money on a dude who just lost to COVID, because I don't know about you, DJ, but I got herd immunity, okay, from COVID, and that's because I heard that it's a conspiracy worldwide that they're trying to trick us and control us, and if Kazmat's going to go Illuminati and he's going to try to pump misinformation at me, then I'm going to have to go to the red flag over here, Jingaling, and sorry, Kamzat, this ain't scripted. Your buddies can't make this happen for you.
I think you're dead wrong on that, Jasper.
What?
Yeah, no. I think Boars is going to... I don't think it's going to be a sub. I think it's going to be a knockout machine gun from the Boars.
Okay. Well, then here, we'll compromise. If he wins, then COVID's a hoax because you shouldn't be able to recover from it and then go back and win a fight.
That's not how it's going to work.
We'll compromise that he had COVID, but it's just a cold.
No, we're not going to do that.
Okay, we'll compromise. He had COVID, and it was more than a cold, and he's the better fighter and is going to win this fight.
All right, yeah, well, that'll be our agreement.
Perfect.
That'll be our
We
agreement.
both win. We're both right.
Yeah, we are jumping up from welterweight, jumping up 3 classes to the big heavies.
Oh, yeah.
Alexander Volkov. He's such a big heavy.
He's huge, man.
So big. Drago Volkov, which is not a great nickname. Drago,
No.
like for a big Russian.
No.
It's not.
No.
I get the Rocky IV reference, and he looked cool, but
who gave him this nickname? Someone in Russia gave him the nickname Drago?
An American gave him that. And it's mean because all Drago ever did was take drugs and kill an old man. And like he lost his fight. I've got an uncle that took drugs and killed an old man. You don't have to be a bad. Let me also yell, Tiber for Tibura. That's not a nickname. That's stupid. That's when they would call. Ooh, it's Hindo. That's not a nickname.
It's just like someone kept mispronouncing your last name.
Yeah, it's Michael. Mike.
He's had big resurgence here of a career, and I think this is Tibura's chance to see if he really has got what it takes, or if he's always going to be mid-card talent.
He's got a chance, but I don't think this is a good matchup for Tibura. I think specifically this is a bad one. As Volkov, you don't realize that he's hitting people so hard because like he doesn't have like big flashy knockouts, but 70, like he finishes 3/4 of his fights.
Yeah.
And it's just those big, heavy hands landing on you for 10 or 15. They don't all have to connect to wear you down. And I think that's what will happen.
And the highlight you're always going to see is Volkov after he'd been beating the shit out of Derek Lewis, and then the last minute of the fight, Derek Lewis just obliterates him with a punch. I don't see Tibura having that kind of power at the end of round 3. I see him getting punched and kicked a lot throughout this fight. Maybe he's tough enough to make it to the decision, but I think lopsided decision, Volkov. As long as Volkov keeps the range, he'd do it all day. Dan Hooker, I don't know what he's doing coming in here. He just snapped a losing skid. And then he's going to take probably the hottest prospect in the UFC at the moment. Islam is supposed to be the next champion. It is supposed to be him. Khabib stepped away and said, now it's Islam's turn. And by all accounts, he looks like that's the truth, too. And he was going to fight Dos Anjos, and that would have been a good fight. I think that would have been a tougher fight for him than Dan Hooker. I think he's going to get the name recognition he needs in this fight to be a title challenger, and I don't think Dan Hooker shouldn't have taken this fight on a month's notice.
I think this was an offense. Dan Hooker is getting all the respect that you would give a hooker. But yeah, he's getting work.
All signs point to perfect combination for Islam Makhachev to have a huge breakout fight.
I mean, that's what they want. And who am I kidding? That's what I want. I want to see that fight. I mean,
yeah, because I'm fine with what they got. Dustin Poirier is getting ready to fight for the title against Oliveira, and that's the fight that should be happening.
Yeah.
But when that fight's over, the only other people in line are Justin Gaethje is fighting what's his name that just came over from Bellator and lost the title fight, Chandler. They're fighting. I don't want to see either one of them get a title shot off of one win.
No.
I'd rather see Islam fight, if he wins, which he will on Saturday. I'd rather see him fight the winner of Poirier Oliveira, and I'd be fine with it. He's number 5. That I don't give a shit. That's fine.
So if I'm hearing correctly, you fully support Islam. This is such a dumbass title fight.
Oh God.
Bantamweight interim title fight. Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen.
You're going to tell us these two dudes coming off losses are fighting for any kind of title?
How are you going to have interim champion when technically both guys have just lost? Yeah.
I hate that shit.
This feels like a case where they're calling this a title fight just to trick people into thinking there are 2 title fights.
Yes, this is not a title fight. This ain't even an engagement ring. This is a promise ring. This means fucking nothing. Peter Yan can win this fight, and they could have Aljamain fight somebody else on a whim if they just feel like it.
Jan Blachowicz. I'm kind of shocked to still see this as the number 1 contender, Glover Teixeira.
And legitimately.
5-fight streak.
It's wild because Glover Teixeira, when he came in, the big thing was like, oh, he's Chuck Liddell's training partner, who everybody says is a beast, who's just never been in the UFC, and he did it. He was a fucking beast. Yeah. He lost a title shot and then floundered a bit. That was 2014, DJ.
I think he's got a chance at beating Jan.
I thought he was going to lose to Israel. Yeah. And he didn't, and I said that if he didn't lose, then he'd have my respect and I'd stop betting against him. But yet I find myself here again, same position, not thinking he's going to do it. But when it comes down to it, I've seen Glover take some big shots because his speed ain't what it used to be. And I think Jan Blachowicz is much better than we give him credit for. He don't look good while he's doing it, but I think he's a better striker than people think. He hits so hard, and he is so much faster than he looks.
He is much, much faster than he looks. This is a case. You look at Jan's record, and nothing stands out as
Nope.
champion. Like
Nope.
he doesn't have that hit list behind him.
He
His
does
biggest
not.
fights were guys smaller than him.
Yep.
I don't want to say he's an untested champion because he's not. He's defended it twice now.
Yeah, it just don't look. Man, it's again. We talked about it at the beginning.
Yeah.
John Jones obliterated this division.
Yeah, he's hollowed out this division and that's the real shame because I don't think anybody here thinks this will be a good fight, but I don't think anybody thinks either of these guys can beat John Jones.
Nope. Or Daniel Cormier. My prediction is Jan Blachowicz wins this fight by KO round 3 by being just a little bit faster. Yuri's going to come up and he's going to beat Jan Blachowicz and we'll have a star light heavyweight champion again. Jan Blachowicz will be forgotten in the history books.
I think Glover's going to tap him. I think Glover's having the best streak of his career, and it's a pretty remarkable career.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think he wants a title. I think he's going to come at this with everything he has. And I think you're going to catch Jan sleeping a little. I think we are going to see a lot of title swapping for a while. That's my guess. I don't think we're going to have a dominant champ at 205.
We only disagreed on the main event.
Yeah, but we disagreed big on the main event. Well, it's almost easier when we only disagree on one. But until then, that's Picking Fights with DJ Dangler.
Jasper T. Colbaire.